Hi, I'm Megan Boyle, and I'm sitting here with Marlene Sanders here at the Players Club. And Marlene, as you obviously know, you were the first woman to report from Vietnam, but I want you to tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, actually, I was the first woman from television. I was not the first woman to report from Vietnam. There had been print reporters and there had been photographers, but there had been no women from television. So the thing is that I got the assignment and I went, and I just did what I would consider to be normal reporting, and I didn't think about it as, oh, this is, some special thing. I knew that it was a first, but that didn't really change how I did the job.
Do you feel like being a woman over there, was there any difficulties you had to overcome, or were you just focused on reporting?
Surprisingly, I really didn't have that much trouble. If you are there representing a network, you have a microphone with a logo. At that point, it was ABC, and you had a certain respect that any network reporter would have. And actually, the troops were actually rather pleased to see an American woman over there. So instead of having a problem, it was, in a way, easier, although there were no special privileges, and I traveled just like all the guys did.
Are there any crazy stories you like to share from being in Vietnam?
No, I wouldn't put it that way at all. This was not a amusing story. I mean, people were getting killed. It was a very unpopular war. I did the best I could to report on stories I thought were interesting. Unfortunately, back home at ABC, they were more interested in combat, not the kind of human interest and other stories that I did. So when I got back sometime later, I was not happy to know that most of them didn't get on the evening news at night. They were on my daytime news program. I did have a couple of good breaks. One weekend there were a lot of Buddhist demonstrations in Da Nang, great pictures, great story, and that did get on at night. But mostly it was just a very difficult place to be, very interesting, and certainly one of the highlights of my career.
Are there any behind-the-scenes stories that you would want to share?
Well, there wasn't any behind the scenes. You were sent to do reporting, and that's what you did. And I guess the only thing I could say is that I was lucky to have a Vietnamese crew. All the crews at the networks were from different places. We had American crews, we had Australian and some Japanese, and I guess the advantage of having these two Vietnamese is that they were French-speaking. I had high school French, and they had some English, and I had no Vietnamese, and we managed to communicate pretty well. But the reason they were so helpful is there were a lot of protests in Vietnam at the time with signs written in Vietnamese, and if I'd been with any of the other crews, I would not have known what the signs said, what the posters said, and they were able to translate for me. So that worked out really well, although I think for them, working with a woman was a little bit of a culture shock, but they were professional, and we got along fine.
Anything you want to say?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
that's, I think there's some usable
Oh,
things.
there's
in it.
definitely usable footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if there's anything else you wanted to ask
Okay.
her.
Say
All
thank
right,
you
cool.
and all that good stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, Marlene, thank you so much for taking time to speak with me, and have a nice day.
Thanks. Thank you.